I have to do is listen and try to understand someone when they're going through something and not just say, okay, okay, can't do that. You actually have to try to listen to someone and what they're saying and how they.
You know, adults, we're not always the best listeners. And it's not because we don't want to hear you. Often it's because we feel such responsibility to give you the right answer or to fix something. And you are so wise in focusing not only in your actions, but even with the symbol or the thing that you use to make the statement that you wanted to make of using a bench. A bench doesn't talk. It's just there for
Yeah.
you. It's supporting you. It's such a beautiful symbol for what you are trying to teach us all, to just be there for one another. And that can be the difference between someone feeling that they can stay or feeling that they don't have the strength to. Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Shafer of Talks with Dr. Shafer. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a physician, mom, coach, musician, author, publisher, and I am passionate about helping others reclaim their stories so they can build their most beautiful future. At times, it can be hard to envision building your most beautiful life. Mental health issues are common, and a feeling of hopelessness, overwhelm, and a feeling of a foregone or foreshortened future can leave you feeling stuck. Those feelings can lead to tragic consequences. We hope tonight that we can provide a sense of belonging and hope to you if you are feeling alone or struggling with hopelessness like so many others. Suicide and suicidal thoughts is a serious health issue we face here in the United States, and it affects our youth at alarming rates. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people ages 10 to 24. The CDC's 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey found that 39.7% of students experienced persistent or ongoing feelings of sadness and hopelessness. 28.5% experienced poor mental health. 20.4% seriously considered attempting suicide, and 9.5% had attempted suicide at one point or other. One amazing young lady and her mom are working to help prevent suicide and promote support for kids coping with mental health challenges. Tammy Williamson and Sho Williamson are two special members of our Northern Michigan community. Sho is a sixth grader in Pellston, Michigan, and she is working to bring light to an important issue that touches many lives, but often goes undiscussed. Suicide prevention is a cause close to Tammy and Sho's hearts. Sho's cousin died by suicide, prompting her to want to do something to help others suffering from thoughts of self-harm. Sho and her mom, Tammy, who lost her sister to suicide as well, went about fundraising for special benches to place in their community to help those suffering to know that the world is a better place with them in it and give them some tools to help them stay another day. Tammy, Sho, thank you so much for joining me today on Talks with Dr. Shafer.
Thanks for having us.
Hi.
It is so wonderful to have you both here. Tammy, you must be so proud of your daughter for the wonderful work she's doing in the community.
I am. Every time she tries to do a fundraiser, it just seems to get bigger and bigger. And this one just was a huge impact for a lot of people.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, and I love how you have set that up because, Sho, I understand you first started seeing a need for providing a safe space for kids who were struggling back in fifth grade when you raised money for something you call a buddy bench at school. Tell me about that.
just sit on the swings and just sit in silence, and they wouldn't do anything else. So the buddy bench was meant to where if someone was feeling lonely or just upset, they would sit on the bench, and hopefully another kid that was feeling the same way would also sit on the bench, and they could communicate with each other, and they wouldn't be alone.
How did you communicate that to your classmates, to your schoolmates, so that they understood the purpose behind the buddy bench? How did you share that message?
There. So I went and sat on it, and some kids came up to me and they're like, "Why are you sitting on this bench?" And I said, "This bench is for people that just need a friend and need someone to talk to, and other kids that feel that way can come and sit on the bench with the kids that are already on the bench." So, some younger kids came and sat with me, and we kind of just talked and socialized the whole recess. Still had Susan from the radio station come, and she did sidewalk chalk with us, which that was really, really fun.
And she read the book
Awesome.
about the buddy bench.
Yeah, she also read a book about the buddy bench, and I believe she gave it to the school's library.
That's so touching. And you had done a fundraiser to procure to get the buddy bench for your school. How did you go about doing that?
Like cans, like we would get cans from other people, and we would take them back to the store, and that's how we really did it. We just got a bunch of can donations,
And then a company donated a huge cash
Yeah.
donation.
yeah, a company donated a huge, huge cash, which we were so thankful for.
And that must mean you do a really good job of something that we call community building, right? That you managed to get your message and explain to this company why it was so important to do that. How do you think you did that? How did you get the feeling within yourself that there was this problem and that you could be a part of fixing a big problem by taking small, but we say attainable steps, steps that you can actually take one by one?
What made you decide to do it? You decided because your friends needed it.
Yeah, I
And then we
decided
reached out to the community.
how to
We
do
talked
that.
about it and we put it on Facebook.
Yeah, we put it on.
You made a video that I put
Yeah,
on Facebook, right?
yeah,
Asking for donations. And so we started this on a Friday at the carnival at school. We got permission from the superintendent. By that Sunday, we had raised the full amount. And the following Friday, we had the bench at the school. So it was 1
Wow.
week.
That sounds like a record to me.
It was crazy.
So you knew you were on to something really special with your community and show that you had this magic in you to bring people together to do really great things. So then what inspired you going into 6th grade to move on from the buddy bench to suicide prevention?
Well, my friends in 4th grade, they would be, I would come to school, they would, they would be upset, and I would ask what's wrong, and let's talk about it. It's like, I feel like I want to commit suicide, so I would go.
Mm.
It was a little bit in 3rd grade too, because some of my friends didn't have a good past life, but now they do. So, and then once Bella committed suicide, I decided that I wanted to get the bench to tell people that this is a real cause and it's not a fun time when someone that you love gets lost because of it.
Hmm. And I understand also from hearing you speak about this before and reading articles that bullying was involved in Bella's death, and that that is something that is a big problem and causing issues with mental health among kids. Was bullying something that you found to be an issue in your school and affecting kids in that way? How do you think that us adults can do a better job? That's really good advice. How did you decide that the bench was the way that you wanted to share this message and help your peers, help your friends and your classmates? Was it a lesson you'd learned from the buddy bench, or was it something else? Why did the bench feel like the way to help your school and your friends?
So I felt like since the bench has the number 9, that it's okay to reach out to help, and there's people that will help you. You just have to be willing to ask for the help, and that there's a special safe place where no one will judge you, and that you can just call on 988 your problems, and they will help.
Have you ever heard of Kirsten's Ride? The lady that's in
Yeah.
charge of that, Lisa, her daughter had
Yeah.
committed suicide. She
Yeah.
teaches suicide awareness and does classes not only for schools. I've taken it personally a few years back when I was worried about my older son's mental health. So she does all kinds of teaching, and she works with the state police to go to um, different events and teach different classes. So they are coming. They're going to talk to the teachers and have put them through training in January, and then they are going to do a assembly with the kids.
That's wonderful. And that is
Yeah.
going to be in Pellston. And you talked about off camera about having shirts also made, that those will be coming soon for staff and students that have this message. What will the shirts say?
Actually, I don't know if we can show. I have one here. So this is the front of it.
So
As a
988 for our
988.
audio. Hmm. Stay. Tomorrow needs you. I saw this displayed. I didn't know there was a t-shirt. Maybe it was a piece of artwork that you'd made with that before.
Yeah, we picked it. She looked online and this is what she wanted to have made. So we had an amazing business up in the Sioux work with us and gave it to us pretty much for cost. And then she got pens and pins and stickers and bracelets that are going with the shirts for everybody. So
You know, the thing that's really, there are so many special things about what you're doing, show, and what you're doing, Tammy, through supporting show. One of the things that really touches me being from this community is the focus on the local impact. And I think when we think about how kids are experiencing the world, and show, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, you're living one foot in this real world of your school and then another foot in this virtual world that can be so noisy and so distracting. And though, when we look at social media, the apps like Instagram and Facebook and all that, and they may promise to bring us together, but then when we've been on them, sometimes we feel so alone. And I love how to help people. You have focused so much energy on even supply, even getting the t-shirts made in the local community to show people how important they are, starting with yourself and your voice, and you recognizing that you could do something with your voice. And I bet a lot of kids that see you online or meet you in person, even if they never say it out loud, that they're thinking, wow, if she can use her voice, I can too. And that's going to make a big difference.
Hopefully, huh?
Hopefully.
Oh, it's beautiful. I know that you're making a big difference. And I came across your story on Facebook and a local chat. And I thought, I think our listeners that are around the world with Talks with Dr. Shafer, that they really need to hear your story. And I imagine a lot of people are thinking, how can I get this word out in my school? Because as I said at the beginning, and as you talked about, we don't necessarily want to talk about some of these tough things, especially with our kids. And that's not the right thing to do. Just because something's scary doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. And you're learning that at a really young age. How do you think that kids, if they're feeling lonely or scared or sad, how do you think they could reach out for help? How would you want a friend to know that they could try to reach out for help? Yeah. Don't keep it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Share
one
it
thing
with
I learned in
someone.
that training was the more you talk about it, the less a child will probably want to do it because they know they can come to you and discuss it.
I think as parents or teachers or just, adults, and maybe it's not everyone, maybe it's just certain people who are raised in a certain situation, a certain, don't say anything
Mhm.
situation. And, show you can probably inform us more than we can assume as adults to know. We worry about AI, about artificial intelligence as well, because we know kids are using AI. We know you're using a lot of technology in school. So you may be
Yeah.
using more AI than we know, and you can be getting bad advice. And there was even a case where a child was wanting to tell their parents that they had thoughts of self-harm, that they intended to harm themselves. They wanted to leave an article out so that the family member would see and would step in. They wanted to make that, we call that a cry for help. And the AI chat that they had been engaged in told them not to, and said, because the AI's purpose is to form a very strong bond. That's what it's programmed to do, like a fake friend. Whereas a real life friend, they would want to say, your real friend in sixth grade would want to say, let's talk to our teacher. Let's talk to our mom or our dad or our parent, our trusted adult or the police, whoever it is, safe, trusted person in your life to keep you safe. We know kids now have access to not real things like AI that may give them really, really bad advice. Do you see that happening with your friends, them forming relationships that can maybe give them bad advice? Hmm. Yeah. So I would encourage, certainly as an old school old person, and I think from the work you're doing, you would encourage too that people put the phone down and they reach out, they sit on a buddy bench, or they sit on a suicide prevention bench, or they approach a friend in class and just connect with someone in real life.
Yeah, a lot of my friends also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that, and that's also not helping because there goes a lot of cyberbullying on all of those apps, and they just don't want to talk about it with anyone. They don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Yeah. How do you think that parents or teachers can do a good job of supporting students so that that's less likely to happen, or if it is happening, that they have a safe space to ask for help?
They could like sit down with each other, and the person who is having those thoughts can just talk it all out. Um, and the person who is listening could just listen. Like, all you have to do is listen and try to understand someone when they're going through something, and not just say, okay, okay. That's You can't do that. You actually have to try to listen to someone and what they're saying and how they.
You know, adults, we're not always the best listeners. I don't know if you know that. You're a really smart young lady, so I think you know that. We're not always, and it's not because we don't want to hear you. Often it's because we feel such responsibility to give you the right answer or to fix something. And you are so wise in focusing not only in your actions, but even with the symbol or the thing that you use to make the statement that you wanted to make, of using a bench. A bench doesn't talk, right? It's just there for
Yeah.
you. It's supporting you. It's just there. And I think it's such a beautiful symbol for what you are trying to teach us all, to just be there for one another. And that can be the difference between someone feeling that they can stay or feeling that they don't have the strength to. And so I think you're just such a wise young lady, and I love what you're doing with the suicide prevention benches here in Northern Michigan.
Thank you.
Now, it took you 6 months to fundraise, right, for these benches. Yeah. How did you go about it this time?
Well, we got a lot more donations from companies, and we also did the same thing that I've always really donations.
Tickets.
Oh yeah, we gave away tickets.
I bought tickets to a concert, and we gave those away for every $20 in cash. We put your name in a drawing for those, to try to help get our fundraising going, because we weren't sure. We had to have the benches custom made, so we weren't sure the cost of what those were going to be. And at this point, we were only planning on doing one, but we got such a great pricing on the first one. We were able to get a second one made, and again, they gave us an amazing deal. It's crazy the support that she got. So that's what we were able to buy the t-shirts with, and the pins, the pens, everything was all donated.
That's beautiful. And so you not only had a bench, the original plan was to have it in your school, the middle school and
Hmm.
high school, but then also you were able to get a bench placed in the Veterans Memorial Park. Why was that such an important place for you to be able to create this safe space?
That I suggested to her. We have veterans in our family, and I also have a son that was in the Navy for 8 years and has PTSD. And he is the reason I ended up taking the suicide awareness class years ago. And so it was just, it was, we felt there was a need for it there as well with the veterans suicide being the rate of it being so high, and all the veterans in our family, we just thought that would be a good place to put it.
It's a beautiful support. What have you heard from your community about the work that you're doing with the suicide prevention benches?
We have gotten so much positive feedback thanking Show for doing it, and that we had people say, why didn't the school pay for this? Why didn't the VA pay for this? And that's not the point. The point is to raise awareness. We wanted to do it. We probably could have asked them, but it defeats purpose. We want to do something nice for the community, something to raise awareness to something, to a cause that was near to us. Suicide has affected Show now, and it unfortunately has affected me with other family members. And we wanted to. Our hope was, with a 988 on the bench, the kids would walk by it enough, see it enough. That number is going to stick. The shirts, they're going to see that number. It's going to stick in their head, and hopefully, if they need it, they know that it's there. And at nighttime when they're on their phone and parents are in bed sleeping and they're sneaking on those apps that they're not supposed to be on, and getting bullied, hopefully they know that, hey, that number's there. Maybe I should call that because I'm feeling desperate at this point. I just hope it helps. Even if it helps one person, it was worth it. It was worth taking back thousands of cans and uh,
It's so true. And what we can speak about, we can face and overcome,
mhm.
especially when we do it together. But we can't do it together if we can't speak on it. And Show, you are such a beautiful example of how we can use our voices and we can use our time and our effort to make such a big difference. What is next for you, Show? Because I'm figuring out, fifth grade, sixth grade, we've had a lot going on. What's next? What are your plans?
My plans after we're done with the suicidal awareness bench is to fundraise for my school field trip, because in sixth grade you get a huge end of the year field trip, and it's where we go down to Grand Rapids, and the school was supposed to do a lot of fundraising with that. And the last fundraiser we did, the first one that we did for it, we didn't raise enough money that we wanted to help get us to Grand Rapids. So Mom kind of had the idea. She suggested that we could do something for the school, like we're done with the suicidal awareness project, kind of raise hands and then give it to my teacher, Mrs. Wolford.
This was a big undertaking that we took with the benches, so we're trying to gather our wits and do something a little more low key for right now. Get our energy back, and so now she's going to put the money that she raises towards the trip, and then her cheer team is also trying to get new uniforms. So that's her two goals right now, and we'll see what happens this summer once we meet those goals.
If anyone can do it, Show, I know it's you, and you've got an awesome mom that's helping you every step of the way. And that support, just like through your benches, through the buddy bench and the suicide prevention bench, that support can mean the world to someone. So it's just so beautiful to see. And I thank you for what you are doing in our community and what I'm sure you will inspire in other communities.
Thanks for having us.
And Show, my daughter Amelie is so inspired by the work you're doing. She has been raising money for wildlife here in northern Michigan through her writing. And she is in sixth grade here in Petoskey, nearby Petoskey. So we were excited to introduce the two of you and to highlight through the work that all of you amazing young people are doing, how important it is to listen to everyone's voice, to feel heard, and to allow everyone to contribute to their community, no matter how young you are, where you are in life, what your work is you do. It doesn't matter. Every life truly matters. Everyone is important, and we can all do amazing things with one another's support. So thank you so much for the work you're doing. Amelie, I'll have you come on over and say hi.
Hi. Can I have the other ear?
Yeah, I'll take my earbud out.
Can I have the other one?
No, they don't link up together, unfortunately.
They
No, they don't link up together. So Amelie is going to say hi.
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 And we just want to thank you so much for the amazing work you're doing. You inspire us so much.
Thank you guys for doing your wildlife thing. That'll be awesome.
Northern Michigan's pretty lucky, I would
Yeah,
say.
and I
with
love
these-
that they're getting their voice so young to try to make a difference in the community.
I love it. You girls could do like a summer course.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
That would be
we
cool.
got plans. We've got summer plans now. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here, Show. If someone wants to donate to your school for your upcoming project, or they want to learn more about how you had the suicide prevention benches made so that maybe they can do it in their hometown, how can they get in contact with you?
They can get a hold of me either on Facebook or email.
Excellent. We're going to link that in the show notes. That way, if someone is so inspired to contribute to the amazing things that you are doing in Pellston, Michigan, or if they just want some tips or to follow along so they're inspired so they can bring it to their community too, so they know how to. Thank you so much for being here. It's been so inspiring.
Thank you guys so much.
We're so proud of you. And we also want to give a big thank you to our listeners. And we want to encourage you that if you are having thoughts of harming yourself or are simply needing to be heard, please call or text 988 for help and seek support in your community as well. You don't have to suffer alone. The world is a better place with you in it. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Thank you to our storytellers. And as always, until next time, stay safe and take care. I'll talk to you soon.